So I'm a fan of Rob down in Australia, the Xanadu channel, um, and he recently acquired a Sherline lathe about this size. The chuck looks pretty similar, but that's about where the similarity ends. So the bed on his looks like solid cast with dovetail sides, and it looks like a pretty neat little lathe. This one's been hanging on my wall for a while. I've got French cleats up there, and I just have the little 45-degree corresponding cleats screwed to the back of this scrap of plywood. I traded the guy for an old outboard more than a year ago, probably, and got this thing. And I've always debated whether I wanted to keep it or sell it, and I think I'm going to sell it. Rob says he's going to use his little Sherline in the kitchen during the winter months when it's cold. I don't think my wife would let me use this in the kitchen, but I just honestly don't see where I would use it that much. I don't see what I would want to do on this that I couldn't do on my bigger lathe with a collet of the appropriate size. But I might be missing something here, so if you've got some input on that, let me know. So right now, the problem this thing has well, if you wiggle this, okay, now it's making me a liar. Earlier it didn't want to always run. There we go. Yeah, there's a bad spot right there. So it's I guess I want to take it apart, but I was warned by my buddy Zach that because he's been through a lot of these, he's been buying and selling, and he said that they're not always that easy to get back together. I've got to call him and ask him what the trick was again. It had something to do, I think, with these brushes, but I want to fix that. I wouldn't want to sell it to somebody like that. And then I'll just clean it up too. It's got a ton of accessories. I don't know if it has all of them, but it has the thing that turns it into a mill. I mean, you can kind of see it. Set in focus there. Let's see. Come over here. Sort of a drill mill configuration. Here's a pretty cool little brochure that came with it. Got people doing all kinds of crazy stuff with it. So I hope that using the pictures in here as guides, I'll be able to figure out what to do with all of the little parts and pieces. Oh, here we go. Here's your basic Unimat right here. I think I have a little bit more than the basic. Yeah, this will be fun. Just to fool around with it for a little while. But yeah, eventually it's going down the road. Alright, so I've spent some time cleaning it up. Looks a little better. I know when I went to pick it up and trade that outboard for it, the young man that was trading it said he was very proud of himself. He said he had greased it up real well for me. I was like, great. I didn't want to burst his bubble. People have very fragile egos these days. But anyway, I've got it fairly well cleaned and oiled, and it feels pretty good. I figured out how to get the chuck off. I was wondering, was it just a straight, regular thread? And it turns out it was. I've got a ton of accessories. This one I don't know what in the world it does, but there are a couple of brackets. Look like they mount back here to, I guess, maybe carry this joker here. Yeah, I gotta get, I've got paperwork to go through, so I'll figure it all out. And then, let's see. Where's that big? Oh, there it is. And this big honking bar here, together with this, is how I can convert it into the mill. And Zach says that's pretty important. A lot of them are sold without that capability. Check it out. Steady rest. Woohoo. Some face plates. One thing I can't figure out is this chuck. It looks like something, it doesn't, these threads don't match anything on the lathe anywhere. So it could be used. You'd have to make a little adapter, which might be a fun little project to do. I might do that. Yeah, I'm going to sell this, right? Yep, sure I am. Yep. So I think this is the original power drive bracket. It incorporated 2 pulleys rather than 3, and this one allows it to go, pretty slow. That's not even the slowest speed, but it's pretty slow. I knew that was coming. Yeah, I could tell this was pretty cracked already. So what most people do is they just get O-rings to replace these belts. Yeah, looks like I'll be doing that. It came with some of this stuff here in sort of random lengths, and I don't know if this is just where something broke in the past or whether this is something you're supposed to be able to fuse together. I might give it a shot. But that's where I am with it right now. Still haven't taken the motor apart. Okay, so here's that drive arrangement. And here's that other bracket I was talking about. So you can see how it would just hold the one spindle, or excuse me, the one extra pulley. This bracket here incorporates 2 extra pulleys. I actually saw this mentioned in one of the pieces of literature as this being an accessory. So I wonder if they had one where it was just straight, just from this to this. I think that's a good possibility. Look around and see if I have one of those. And I might end up selling these 2 separate. But to get the motor off, I've got to... Oh, look at that. That thing was just about to come anyway. See, I am unplugged. Yes, I am. And it comes right off very nicely. Oh. Oh, yeah, I did have to take this off just to get these screws. That's right. Okay. thinking for a minute that maybe that wasn't even necessary. Alrighty. Find a decent screwdriver for these guys and take it off. Yeah, they're loose. If it was tight, I would have gotten a better fitting screwdriver. I think this will work all right. There we go. There's that. Be right back. So I was getting ready to take this apart, but here's the thing. I can't get it to duplicate the problem anymore. I don't think it has a problem. I think maybe some of this crud that's disintegrated up in here was maybe getting in the way of the contacts or something. But now it's just doesn't seem to have any issues. So I think I want some kind of stress relief here. So I want to take this apart. I think I'm just going to get some black silicone or something and go around it. Let it dry. So here's all the little setups you're supposed to be able to do with this guy. So here's your basic lathe configuration. Focus! Then you can set it up as a drill press. Then you can set it up as a grinder, which is basically your drill press with a couple of different bits attached. And a vertical milling machine. I kind of think of that as horizontal, but anyway. And here, the sketchiest thing you ever saw, dun dun, a hand drill. Oh yeah. I love that. And there's a polishing grinding machine. These things are great. Oh, and one more thing. Back in, come on, focus. This one was published in 1962, which I think is newer than the machine I have because this one was not built in Austria. This does not show one built in Austria. This shows, they must have mixed, they must have a variety of tags on them. What does that one say? Yeah, this one says made in Austria. Okay. Alright. But I noticed that the big picture here had a different tag on it. But anyway, 139.50 in 1962. Aha! Those mystery pieces. I have the coveted thread chasing attachment, DB200. That's what this bar and all that was about. Well, check that out. Oh, and I see. That's what this goes on the... Here, I'll set that up. I'll show it to you. Alright, this is it. Looks like it's fairly complete. The way the system works is you have these thread chasers that mount above the or inside of the chuck, And I don't know if you're supposed to, but I went ahead and removed the spring-loaded gizmo to make this fit better up in here. And so this is your pattern that you follow, and this is your chaser. I haven't measured how many threads per inch that particular one is, but yeah, so as this thing turns, this would follow it. You'd have your cutting tool mounted. I don't know if you can see right in here, there's a tool holder. So whatever stock you've got in here would wind up with the same thread that you've got on your pattern over here. So that's how this is meant to work. And it's pretty complete. So I think what's going to happen is, whether I keep the rest of this lathe or not, I'm going to sell this attachment because they're going for about 150 bucks on eBay right now. And I don't ever see using it because I'll either use a die or I can do single point threading on my Atlas. So this is superfluous to anything I would ever do. And I think if I sell it together with the lathe, I don't think anyone will give me the difference in cost that it just would be justified. It's pretty interesting. I've never seen this system before for creating threads. I don't know if any other lathes besides Unimat use it. Be a little closer view. Can you see the threads in there? No, that's out of focus. Shoot. And that just follows on there. It's weird, it's spring loaded like this, so I don't know what you're supposed to do. Like set it in place and just hold it down as it's following. Yeah, I really have no idea. I don't think it's anything I want to learn how to do. Now, one kind of sad thing, I do have this set. This follower matches this pattern. And these go for, 40, 50, 60 bucks on eBay. So that's cool. And I have another pattern, but no follower for it. So that's a darn shame. I don't see any of them being sold individually either. So, might be SOL on that one. I'll throw it up there and see if anybody bites on it. Oh, so there you go. Took it back off. So this is a complete unit, and so that's going up for sale probably tonight. Next thing I'll do is figure out how to set this up vertically, but it's just about dinner time, so I think I'm done for tonight. I'll do a separate video on that later.